Hi, welcome to the Coffee Hour, a show that involves you in verbal interaction. Sports with Brian Camp. So settle in with coffee in hand and enjoy the Coffee Hour. Now here's your host, Frank Allan.
TGIF, thank God it's Friday, and here we are once again gathered around the breakfast table, the water cooler, or wherever you are congregating. Welcome once again aboard to another edition of the Coffee Hour on this Friday morning. We're coming to you live from New York City. That's where we originate, and of course, we get together each week at this time. And all of you who have been around with us for a long time, we're so grateful that you have been able to stick it out all of this time with us, and we're so grateful that you're able to tell your family and friends about it. And of course, every once in a while we get new people coming in. Hopefully today we have someone, maybe one or two that are new today, so we want to explain how we operate. Each week at this time we come into your homes or wherever you congregate, and we get together, we have a talk and conversation, a little coffee, and a whole round of great topics that you can convey as well. Now, what we want you to do is stick with us for the whole hour to see how it operates. See, what we do is that we invite you along. All you have to do is use your keyboard on your computer, your phone, or even your iPad, or even or any kind of equipment that you use with a keyboard that has a screen too, and you see us right there. We're all around the world. We're global, no matter where you go, as long as you're in an area where there's nice hot spots and, of course, great Wi-Fi. We're there anywhere, so you can't miss us. And for those of you who are watching for the first time, if you're watching us on Facebook, take the time to tag all of your friends. You can tag this show to your friends right now as we speak. Doesn't take that much of an effort. You don't have to miss a thing when you do it. And then they'll see the tag coming from you, and they'll know it's from you because you're their friend, and they will click onto that tag, and it brings them directly to us where we are, and they can be able to join the show too. And if they like what they see, if they like what they hear, of course, they'll come back again and again. The more, the merrier. Now, if you can't do a lot of your friends, you can't do that. If you can't, maybe you have so many friends that you can't possibly tag them all. Once you come in each week, tag a few at a time each week, because the more the merrier, and of course, they'll come back again and again if they like what they see, if they like what they hear. But in the meantime, do as many as you can, even if it's one or two, it doesn't matter. Now, if you're watching us on YouTube, I always encourage all of my friends who watch on YouTube to go to my YouTube channel. You're there right now? Okay, what I want you to do is subscribe to my YouTube channel. How do you do that? You have a mouse on your computer, take the mouse, drag it over there where it says subscribe down there at the bottom, wherever it's located. And all you have to do is point your arrow there, click onto it, and it's done. There's no money involved. You have no membership cards, no union dues, no nothing like that. It's free. Everything is free of charge. It's all a matter of clicking on. Now, the reason why we want you to do that is because, first of all, it gives us an opportunity to know how many people are behind us, and it helps us out a lot, you know, as far as our listenership and our viewership goes. It helps us a lot. And when you do that, there you go, you remember right there. Now, the other thing too is that when you do that, it gives you an opportunity to know whenever we come on live, you get an instant notification, because you may forget from time to time that the show is coming on the air. And if you're online, it'll pop right up and you'll say, there it is. So all you have to do is click onto that instant notification, and then it brings you directly to us. Simple as that. So right now, take the time. Don't wait. Do it right now if you haven't done it thus far. Click on and subscribe to us. For all of you who are watching us on Instagram, you don't have to do anything special other than tell all your friends as usual. Family, friends, relatives, people that you know, people that you have just met, let them know that we're out here. As I said, it's always the more, the merrier. And so we advise you to do that. And let's get it together. We got our show coming on. And coming along right throughout the show, ladies and gentlemen, we interact with you, but also we have our regular routine here. For instance, in just a few minutes from now, within this particular half hour, we expect the arrival of Brian Camp. You see, he's coming out of Charlotte, North Carolina. So we're going to link up from New York to Charlotte, North Carolina. And what he has for us is the latest developments in today's world of sports. It's all coming up on Sports Update. That's part of his show on our show here. And if you have any particular sports related questions that you want to relay to him, you'll see him live. And all you have to do is ask. As I said, use your fingers and type in the information, and we'll see it, and he'll answer your questions. If he doesn't have the answers to those questions, by golly, he will get them for you, one way or the other. And so we look forward to seeing him coming up. And if you're watching us on Facebook and YouTube, you'll get a chance to see him live on the screen, in person, right here. For those of you who are watching us on Instagram, that's not the case, but you'll get a chance to hear him. You can hear his voice. You won't be able to see him, but you'll hear his voice. And you can still do the same thing as everyone else do. If you have a question, just type it in and let us know. And of course, if he doesn't see the questions, and I monitor all of this, whatever I see and he doesn't see, I'll relay it to him. And of course, he'll answer the question right there. That's all it takes. So we look forward to all of you to do that. And again, keep telling your family and friends about it, because that's what it's all about. Remember, all of the views and the opinions expressed on the show, The Coffee Hour, does not necessarily reflect the view or the opinion of the people of Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Zoom, or any other social media outlet and broadcast facility. So that being said, let's do what we normally do. Let's lift our cups, glasses, whatever elements that you have there, and let's do it, because what would the coffee hour be without a little coffee? So excuse me while I shoot up. That's the first jolt of the day. And you don't necessarily have to have coffee. Of course, you could have cocoa, you could have tea, which they say is a little more refined than others, but whatever you like, orange juice, milk, whatever your choice or whatever your poison is. There you go. You have it with us. And if you happen to be somewhere in the country, let's say particularly like my time zone, I'm Eastern, so it's after 10 o'clock here in the morning. And you may be at work at that particular time, right? And you may be on your coffee hour or your coffee break. You don't get a whole coffee hour, but you get a coffee break, about 15 or 20 minutes, right? You're allowed. Well, take that coffee break and stay at your desk and watch the show at the same time. Go to the water cooler later on in the day, and you can talk about sports or whatever you want to talk about. But in the meantime, stick at your desk with your coffee and stay there. And when your coffee break is over, you'll still be at your desk, and then you can go back to work and do what I like to say is called multitasking. Okay, so we'll do that. I want to say hello to all of you who are watching right now. Wave to all of you guys. Say hello to Mary Reed, who's in with us today. Thank you, Mary, for being with us. And happy Friday to each and every one of you. Yes, the weekend is coming upon us, and we're all ready to take that plunge, right? As we always do, right? And of course, the month of May is here. And of course, there's a lot of things happening in the month of May. Right? You know that. There's a lot of things happening in the month of May. And it's May 10th. And so we've got a lot of celebrations going on May 10th. And I'll tell you once about it right now. The coffee hour contains, let me see if I can find that information right there. Yes, I think I might have found it. Yeah, there I did. I did find it. Okay, what we're celebrating today, and I hope you're in tune with this, all month long, all month of May, all right, is Jewish American Heritage Month. That's what we're celebrating right now. And for those of you who are celebrating, we want to celebrate with you. That's why we're announcing it. And feel free to come in, chime in, and talk about your heritage, maybe things that are happening, celebrations that are taking place, events. We would like to know that in your area, whether you're near or far from New York, we would like to know that so we can pass it on to all of us. Because we want to celebrate everything with you. Also, we're celebrating Asian Pacific American Heritage Month. There's another thing like that we're doing. And of course, all of my brothers and sisters from the Asian community, we're celebrating with you. And you could do the same thing. type it in. We'll see it right there on the big screen. Whatever you want to talk about as far as your history goes, and you want to tell little stories, and we like to share those stories. We like to do that with you. So it's all open, no matter where you are. Celebrating Asian American Heritage Month. We're celebrating that with Jewish Heritage American Month. So there we are, all of those celebrations together. Also, we want to show our appreciation to our military brothers and sisters too, who are celebrating in the military, in the Navy, the Army, the Marines, and the Air Force, because it's National Military Appreciation Month. And we also emphasize on the word appreciation because we do appreciate what you guys have done for us. People who are serving now, who have served in the past, and people who are serving in the future, we want you to know in advance, we really do appreciate you. You stick your tails out on the line each day for us, and we really do appreciate that. And if you're not told that enough, well, you should be. And those of you who are watching us, if you know military people, call them up. You have military people in your family, let them know how much you appreciate them for serving this country. And let them know if you walk around and let's say, for instance, in New York, if you walk through Grand Central Station, we have a lot of military guards out there, just there. And they're not just hanging out, they're there for the safety of the people who come through, because we have a lot of people, local people and people who come into town as tourists. They want to be protected, and that's what they're there for. And if you see them, salute them, give them the right hand, give them the left hand or whatever, and let them know that you appreciate them. A lot of people I see, a lot of tourists, they come by and they take pictures with the military people, which is always nice. So, well, let's keep that in mind for our military people. Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and of course, others there. My dad served in the Air Force, so he tried to get me to go in there, but I wanted to join the Navy. But, that's something else. That's a personal story anyway. But again, all of our appreciation, to our military people here in the United States. I don't know if you care about this or not, but we're celebrating National Shrimp Day. Can't make this stuff up. Now, I could give you a whole bowl of shrimp right now, but I'm not going to eat shrimp at this time of the day, not with coffee. I don't think that's a good combination, but I'm just letting you know it's National Shrimp Day, and you can do all kinds of things with shrimp. I don't know if you care about this stuff, but I just figure I'd bring it out there. You can do shrimp salad, shrimp scampi, fried shrimp, grilled shrimp, bubblegum shrimp, like in that movie with the Tom Hanks, right? Okay. So anyway, National Shrimp Day, it's upon us. And of course, just in case you care, you can have a little shrimp today. I think later on, after this show is over, when lunchtime come around, I'll have me a nice shrimp salad. Also, for all of our people who live in the state of Washington, it's National Washington Day. So we want to celebrate that, even though I don't live in Washington. I'm talking about Washington State, not DC. All the people who live in the state of Washington, it's your day, National Washington Day, and we are going to celebrate with you. And maybe you have some activities coming along you want to convey to us so we can convey to others. We like to talk about that, all of these great celebrations coming along. I'm really happy about that too. And last but not least, I save it for last because it's very important. It's very important to me, as it should be to you. Mother's Day is coming up this weekend. As a matter of fact, Sunday, the 12th, we have Mother's Day. And for those of you who are mothers, I want to wish you a happy Mother's Day. I salute you. For those of you who have mothers too, and they're still around with you, well, you know what to do. You're going to treat them right, because Mother's Day is going to be Mother's Way. And so whatever she's asking you to do, or whatever you can do for her, just make sure that she wants to do it herself. Treat her kindly. Whether you're taking out to dinner, you're going to go out to church in the morning, and then maybe dinner, maybe a nice concert or something that whatever she likes to do. And she just want to be with her family, or whatever that mother wants to do this weekend. You take your time out from your busy schedule on Sunday. I can't imagine how busy your schedule would be on a Sunday, but a lot of people do have busy schedules on Sunday. So break those schedules and spend time with mom. They're very important. You know why they're very important? Because you only get one, no more. Finito, just one. And I always talk to the people who mothers are still around and to take care of them. Now, for those of you who are not fortunate to have your mom around, still keep the legacy alive. Remember what she taught you. She taught you more than you know. So, ladies and gentlemen, keep in mind that she is very important and she is going to do a lot. And listen, those of you who are watching us right now, we really appreciate that. And if you want to join in our conversation, we also would love to have you do that with us. But what we want you to do, if you desire to join in the conversation, is to what is it that I want you to do? What I want you to do is give us your weather forecast. Do you have a weather forecast? I'm sure you do. Everyone has a weather forecast. And your weather forecast may be different from mine. I have one in New York City that I'm going to convey to all of you out there. You may have a different kind of a weather forecast. And we only do that. We only ask. It's not something that you really have to do or something that's required from you to do. There's something that I always ask. I just ask. You know why? Because I want to compare notes to see what your weather is like compared to mine. So if you do have a great weather, that would be great. And I hope you do for the weekend. But for those of you who live in the New York area and the vicinity of New York, don't worry about the weather. I'm going to take care of that for you. All right. I'll take care of the local stuff of New York and the rest of you could relax. But the rest of you out of the country, out of the state, if you join in conversation, Mary, you don't have to do anything. You're out from Brooklyn, so I'm going to take care of your weather for you. And we'll give you that right now, as a matter of fact, because our weather doesn't really, I don't know, you're going to have to judge for yourself. I think the better part of the weekend is Saturday, which is, by the way, my favorite time, my favorite day of the weekend is Saturday. And so we are going to give you that weather forecast. It's coming up. Let me see if I can punch it up right here, right now. I'm going to do that. Punch the weather. Let's see if we have it right there. Give me a second or so. And there we have it, our weather. So what we have presently, the temperatures look good out there. You know, temperatures are starting to boost. We are starting to see temperatures elevating to get into the summer months. We are in spring mode right now. We've got 51 degrees right now as we speak. 51 degrees in New York City. Now, this is only New York City weather because this is the weather this is the only kind of weather I have. That's why I always depend on the rest of you to give me your weather forecast so we can compare notes. So this is what we have for today. Not a good one. It's kind of gloomy. We've got showers this morning, becoming steady rain during the afternoon hours. We'll have a high around 53 degrees, right? And winds will be northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. We've got a chance of rain of 80%. That's a big chance of rain. So it doesn't look that good right now. And for tonight, rain showers will continue this evening with clearing. It'll be clearing overnight. So that sounds good. See, it gets better, as I said. Clearing overnight, we'll have a low 46 degrees. Winds will be light and variable chance of rain. It boosts up to 50%. So that's a 50-50 chance right there. And then, as I said, the best day of the week is Saturday for us. It's going to be sunny along with a few clouds. We'll have a high 63 degrees. Winds will be east at 5 to 10 miles per hour. So shut the umbrella and the rest of the rain gear for Saturday. And temperatures, as I said, goes up to 63 degrees. That's nothing to sneeze at. I like that. However, we go on the decline after that. Considerable cloudiness for Saturday night. Occasional rain showers later in the evening. We'll have a low near 50 degrees. And winds will be south-southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of rain goes down to 40%. And as we wrap up our weekend and head for the grind for Monday, we have Mother's Day, okay, you might want to take your umbrella with you on Mother's Day. It's not going to be a soaker, but there's going to be showers in the morning, then cloudy in the afternoon. So I'm assuming that the showers in the morning are going to decline by the time the afternoon comes around. It'll be a little dismal, but I would say it becomes dry. So I think you can still do whatever you want to do. We'll have high around 56 degrees for Mother's Day. Winds will be southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour, and chance of rain is 60%. So that's the weather we have our forecast for today. And for those of you, again, who are going to come along with us in conversation, we really appreciate that. And we want you to give us your weather forecast. But right now, we're going to take time and go over to Charlotte, North Carolina, as we always do each day of at this time each week, and bring on Brian Camp with the latest developments in today's world of sports. There's a lot to talk about, isn't it? I think you better unmute yourself.
Thank you. Not really. It's not really.
Okay.
But we will. But we will.
Okay, there you go. I got you. There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Will celebrate.
Take two.
He was talking about was Forrest Gump, since it was National Shrimp Day today.
Yeah.
Forrest Gump. That's the movie he was talking about when he was describing all different kinds of shrimp and everything.
Yeah.
So that's what he was talking about. That you was referring about. So
yeah. Yeah.
Good morning to all out there listening globally, nationally, and locally. I wish you well. I'm coming live from the Queen City of Charlotte, North Carolina, where it is presently at 72 degrees. We're going to have a lot of clouds, maybe some rains today. The high is going to be 79 degrees. And happy Mother's Day weekend, I have to say. And it's not so much happy Mother's Day on Sunday, but it's really happy Mother's Day on the weekend. Gentlemen, take my advice. If you're going to take your wife, your other significant, do it on Saturday. Don't do it on Sunday. Everything's going to be sold out. Everything's going to be crowded. Do it on Saturday, and then you're going to stay home on Sunday. You make your wife or your girlfriend or whoever a nice dinner like I usually do, and then guess what? You can watch the NBA playoffs. Can't beat that. Can't beat that. Can't beat that. But show her some love. Yes, show her that
Can't you take a break from sports?
Sure.
Let's just take a break from sports. It's going to be there. You can always go back and check it out later. It's a special day.
It is a special day. I can't help it if my wife loves sports too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but other men who are watching right now,
they don't have not like. Yeah, well, that's true. You're right. You're absolutely right.
I'm sports fans too, but I say to those guys, shuck it. Just shuck it for a while. Go back to it later. Take your wife out. It's only one day, just one day. I just thought I'd throw that in.
I'm blessed to have a wife that just loves sports, period. So, I mean, better than this. Anyway, good morning again. WNBA. We're going to do a lot of WNBA stuff. Candace Parker, yes, was named Adidas new president of women's basketball. The longtime in the WNBA star retired just not too long ago, too. Last week, after 16 years in the league, in 2010, Candace Parker became the first woman to have a signature basketball shoe with Adidas. Adidas is well known. Adidas came out before Nike. I used to love wearing Adidas. It even went over to the rap group Run DMC used to wear and was endorsed by wearing the shoe brand. And Parker also stated that she, wanted to be in the meetings and in the decision makings as well when she takes this here position. In her role as president, Parker will collaborate with the brand to create a powerful platform aimed at influencing and elevating the future of women's sports, not basketball only, but in women's sports. So congratulations to Candace Parker. I'm so happy for her. She's one of my favorite women's basketball players of all time. Follow her career all the way from Tennessee, the University of Tennessee, with the Tennessee Vols, as they are called, the Tennessee Volunteers, full name. So congratulations to her. Now, since the WNBA launched in 1997, teams have primary travel commercial airlines due to financial reasons. Now, and all traveling parameters were part of the collective bargaining agreements between the league and players' union. Players have cited health and safety concerns, explaining that commercial travel adds to a lot of fatigue. You know, they get tired, which impacts performances in their games. Plus, the growing popularity of the WNBA players has made their security in public places a more urgent issue. Now, Commissioner Kathy Engelbert intends to fund a full-time charter, and it is projected to cost around $25 million per year for the next 2 seasons. So you could imagine how the men back in the 60s and the 50s, and like Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain, who were very tall men who had long legs, you know, being cramped up. Well, now they're gonna get, the women are now going to get comfort when they fly, and deservedly so. Also, this came down today. The WNBA has going to hire a 14th team. Yes, the WNBA is going to have 14 teams, and it's coming from Toronto. So they're going international now. So congratulations to the WNBA, who's just is really on a high. Now, if you missed this past March with March Madness, of course, the March Madness with the men has always been popular, but this season, the women March Madness was just as good, if not better in some ways, in many ways, than the men. So women's basketball is on the rise. I know that their ratings are up too as well. So congratulations again. Boxing news. July 20th, bout between the YouTuber turned prize fighter Jake Paul and former heavyweight boxing champion Mike Tyson from Brooklyn, New York, will be classified as a sanctioned professional fight by the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulations. Now, the heavyweight showdown will be contested over 2 rounds, with each using 14-ounce gloves. The outcome will affect their professional records, which means that when they fight, even though they haven't fought for a while, especially with Mike Tyson, it will count. Now, Mike Tyson, by that time, July 20th will be 58 years old, and Jake Paul will be 27, or is 27, but will still be 27, which is a 31-year gap between the two fighters. It'd be the biggest age gap in the history of professional boxing. Now, if you want to see this fight, it was going to take place at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, where the Dallas Cowboys play their home games and other college football teams in the area play. But you could also watch it on live stream on Netflix as well. So that's coming up soon. We hope that this fight will go through, and we'll see what happens. This day in sports, May 10th, 1967, Hank Aaron is known as the Hammer, hits his only inside the park home run off of Jim Bunning. As you know, Jim Bunning pitched that perfect game in 1964. I believe he did that on Father's Day, too. I think that was Father's Day, right? Am I right about that?
Absolutely. I remember that.
Father's Day.
Isn't it against the Mets?
It was against the Mets, yes. 1973, the New York Knicks beat the LA Lakers 4-1 to win their last championship. That was their last championship, 1973, and they beat them in LA too, if I recall. How old was I? I was 11 years old, going on 11 years old, and I try to look up for those games, and a lot of those games weren't televised back then, so they like patch up some of these here games and give you highlights and everything. 1991, Oakland A's Jose Canseco is seen leaving singer Madonna's apartment. Yes, Jose Canseco was seen, I don't know why they put this on here on this date, but he was seen leaving singer Madonna's apartment. Well, maybe they just had some coffee for the coffee hour. Who knows? We don't know what they were doing. Okay. 1993, Bill Walton is inducted into the NBA Basketball Hall of Fame. In 2002, Tom Brady agrees to a 10-year, $375 million deal to be Fox lead analyst. Birthdays, 1930. Happy birthday to the late Pat Summerall, NFL player for the New York Giants and legendary CBS sportscaster, was born in Lake City, Florida. Happy birthday to the late Jim Hickman, Major League utility player for the Cubs, was born in Henning, Tennessee. And happy birthday to Chris Boomer Berman, ESPN sportscaster, was born in Greenwich, Connecticut. If you watch Chris Berman on football, you see him on the highlights where, he give a lot of the players nicknames like Deion Sanders and call him prime time. Or, if you watch him in the highlights, he gets so excited, intense, he'll say, he can go all the way, touchdown. That's Boomer. Chris Berman. Happy birthday to him. He's still with us. God bless him. And ladies and gentlemen, that is sports on a Mother's Day weekend.
Now, is it Boomer's birthday or is it whose birthday?
Boomer's his nickname, but his real name is Chris Berman.
Oh, okay. We're talking about Boom. Oh, you know who I thought you were talking about? Boomer Eric Boomer Eric was his first name, Eric Elias or something like that. The football player.
You mean Boomer Esiason?
Esiason, right?
That's a former football player he used to play for the Bengals and the Jets.
Okay, that's who I thought you were talking about when you said Boomer.
Boomer, Chris Berman, but Boomer was his nickname.
So now we got two boomers in sports.
Well, it's only one. I mean,
hey, you got the Boomer, the football player, and Boomer, the announcer.
No, it's Boomer Esiason is the football player.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's Chris Berman, who's also known as the Boomer.
Exactly. I know who he is.
One play football, never.
But we got two boomers, don't you understand? You got a football player that's Boomer, and you got an announcer that's Boomer.
To each his own, yes.
I'm so confused. This is crazy. Oh boy, hey, it's nuts. I don't know. Okay, so now I know whose birthday it is. It's not Boomer, the football player.
Exactly.
He's a nice guy.
Yes,
nice guy. And him and Phil. What's his name? Phil. The other, his. I think they're best friends.
Phil Simms.
Phil Simms, right? Phil Simms look alike. They look like brothers.
They do look alike. Yes, they do. They do favor one another. They both work at CBS for the NFL on CBS. One sits on the end, and the other one sits on the other end.
Like bookends.
Yeah.
I never met Phil Simms, but what's the difference? I guess I have a picture of me and Boomer together. So what's the difference? I would just anyone could say, oh, that's Phil Simms. No, that's Boomer. No, that's Phil Simms. Doesn't make
one for the Jets and one play for the Giants at one. Exactly.
So Madonna, that's
Miss Material Girl.
Yeah, I know. She has a right to select her own friends and come and go when they want.
Yeah.
But the whole thing, the unfortunate thing about people in notoriety is they don't get to keep their privacy, because there's always someone peeking. There's cameras all over the place, and now it's reporting.
Absolutely.
He could have came out of her apartment, leaving the apartment after a cup of coffee. Or maybe negotiation for her upcoming video. Maybe he's going to be in her video.
Yeah, or maybe to see if she could perform at the World Series or sing the national anthem. Maybe who knows?
Absolutely. I just have I'm pretty sure it was his pleasure to meet her or be with her, or whatever circumstance that is. I like Madonna.
I love it.
I should be somebody to come be seen coming out of her apartment. You know, she's and you ever meet her? You ever seen her?
Never met her, but I just love her work. You know, she, you know, I believe she used to date Dennis Rodman too, if I recall,
So
basketball.
I think she tried to hook Michael Jackson, but I don't think Michael Jackson was having it. I don't know, for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But then I couldn't think of a woman in show business that didn't want to be with Michael Jackson. You know, even Sheryl Crow wanted to be with Michael Jackson. So I was told anyway. You know, so many people. But Madonna, you ever see, she's about that tall. You can't see my hand. That's how tall she is. She's that tall. But she's still out there doing her thing. And she's also an author, I think, for children's books, things like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now let's flip the page a little bit. What took them so long, the airlines so long, to make room for people with longer legs? What took them so long?
Money. It's just money. It's a money situation. You know, I give a lot of respect and love to the players of the 60s and the 50s when NBA just started back in the late 40s, you know, and even baseball players as well too, you know. A lot of them had to travel on the bus, on the trains, but you know, now we're in the time where technology calls for us to fly, but depending on what type of flying, you know, commercial, charter, you know, you want to be comfortable, you know, and if you're not comfortable, fatigue will set in, you know.
Yeah.
You know, you get cramped up. I don't like for me, I don't like to drive long distance because, you know, your ankles will swell up, you know. You know, if you suffer from blood pressure, your pressure will rise. My doctor did tell me that. If you sit for a long period of time, and you're driving or even riding, you don't have to drive, but even if you're riding, you know, your pressure will rise, believe it or not.
Yeah. No,
Comfortable.
I agree. I agree with driving. I'm a good driver, and I like driving, but there's just so much I can take behind the wheel. I remember driving out to. I was working at this one particular radio station. We had to do a remote, and I had to drive out to Atlantic City, you know, because we were doing a broadcast from Sands Hotel, and I took someone with me because I wanted them to share the driving. You know, and it's only from New York, it's only what 2.5 hours?
2.5 hours, something like that. Yeah.
I mean, anybody could do that, but I'm just not that kind of a person that do those kind of driving. Now, long distance driving, what you mean, like 12 hours. Like sometimes you'll drive from Charlotte to New York. That's a lot of hours to be on the wheel. You know, I'll die. I would die.
Conditions have like me, like lately, I like taking Amtrak, you know.
Yeah.
Amtrak, you could, you know, there's plenty of leg room on Amtrak, you know. You could just move around, you could walk around, and it's fun. To me, I enjoyed it. You could get your work done too, you know. There's Wi-Fi. Of course, flying is much easier and quicker. But even with long flights, you want to be comfortable. You want to be cramped up. You don't want to be. Now, there's some horrible airlines out there right now. I'll tell you that. I don't want to mention any airline names, but it could be, you know, their companies, some of their companies are awful when it comes to leg room and just conditions as well. You know.
Well, I'm going to say something positive, and I'm going to name the airline that I like, JetBlue. I mean,
JetBlue are the best.
Can fly me anywhere. Unfortunately, they don't fly everywhere. So sometimes you have to resort to other airlines. But I'm glad they're finally making room for these people who are much taller. And I think what comes to mind is Shaq when he travels. You know, how does he travel?
Well, he might have his own private jet.
Maybe so, custom made for him, which is. But everyone that tall doesn't get to fly a private jet. But I'm sure, you know, they find in this day and age, they're doing everything friendly for like even disabled people, you know, in wheelchairs. You know, remember a long time ago, a person that was in a wheelchair couldn't get on the bus.
Wow. Yeah, exactly. and now they have wheelchairs where you could lift them up on a bus lift in the front, and they'll come right on in. Wheelchair accessibles. Yeah.
Have a space that you can lift the two seats, and they can have their own little space right there.
Exactly.
Fortunately, the people who are sitting there at that time, they have to get up. Bus
Exactly.
I have to tell them to get up because I'm using this for wheelchair. Boy, so much. All right, Brian. Well, what's on the menu for this weekend?
Yeah, well, weekend, it's going to be. I'm not touching the grill. Not going to be touching the smoker. Just going to be a quiet weekend. We will try to go out. I'm going to leave it up to my wife to see if she wants to go out. But other than that, it'll be a quiet weekend. Just relax. What? Netflix, Prime Video.
Yeah. Well, you be nice. You be nice because Father's Day is right around the corner, so you want to return.
As in the words of Archie Bunker would say, "Hey, I'm always nice."
Okay, Brian, we'll catch you back here next weekend.
Everybody enjoy. Mary, take care. Happy Mother's Day to you too, Mary. And to all the mothers out there, enjoy your weekend. Take care.
Yeah, that's Brian, ladies and gentlemen, with the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. He's here each week at this time along with us. We discuss sports and a whole lot of other things as we have discussed. Boy, that the airlines, they're way behind the time. They should have made a lot of this room. I mean, not for just people in first class, but come on, treat your customers nice, man. Make the space for people who are riding coach, and you don't have to give them the champagne as you do with the people in first class, but give them a little leg room, whatever. I don't know. Flying could be something else, though. You could take, I could take it or leave. Anyway, if you're just joining us, the name of the show is called The Coffee Hour. And of course, I'm Frank Allan. I'm going to be with you until the top of the hour. We got a lot of things to talk about. We want to say hello to all of you people who have just joined us. Thank you so much for joining us, and come back again and again because you are just as important as the people who come here each week. Just want you to know that. A lot of things are happening. As I said, the whole month of May, we're celebrating a lot of things. And just to backtrack just quickly, we're celebrating Jewish American Heritage Month, Asian Pacific American Heritage Month. Of course, we salute our military people with National Military Appreciation Month. And those of you who will take this day to have a little shrimp salad or shrimp juice or whatever it is, National Shrimp Day. That's what we're having. And all of my friends in Washington, the state of Washington, a happy one to you. And of course, we'll talk more about Mother's Day as it comes along. Right here on the Coffee Hour, where we make you number one because you are number one to us. That's the way that goes. Okay, as we move on down the line, let's see. Oh, okay. Bernard Hill, best known for his role in Titanic and Lord of the Rings franchise, has died. Actress agent Lou Coulson confirmed to BBC that he died Sunday, and he did not share cause of death. Hill, who played the role of Titanic Captain Edward Smith in the James Cameron 1997 blockbuster, is survived by his fiancée Allison and his son Gabriel, and he was 79 years old. Kim Godwin, the ABC News president, who was the first Black woman to run a broadcast network news operation, is leaving the Disney unit amid increasing concern about the way she was managing the home of shows like Good Morning America, World News Tonight. Godwin told staffers in a memo set Sunday that she planned to retire from broadcast journalism. And speaking of Madonna, more than 1 million people thronged Brazil's Copacabana beach for a free Madonna concert last Saturday, braving the heat to see the end of her Celebration World Tour. The sand and oceanfront boulevard around Rio de Janeiro famed beach were filled for several blocks by a crowd the city estimated at 1.6 million. Frankie Valli of the Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons has granted a restraining order. He was granted a restraining order against his oldest son, Francisco. His eldest son is required to stay at least 100 yards away from his dad's property and was granted a no contact order through 2027, according to the judgment filed in a Los Angeles courtroom. Frankie's son, Emilio, petitioned for a domestic violence restraining order on April 8th, including his father as an additional protected person following the alleged incident at Frankie Valli's home, April 5th. In the filing, Emilio alleged his older brother attempted to break into Valli's property, and while waiting for officers, his brother repeatedly threatened to kill and harm him. Malcolm Jamal Warner is ready to show his vulnerable side. The actor is launching a new podcast entitled Not All Hood on June 10th. And that will explore the vast and diverse experiences of the Black community. And together with co-hosts Wesley Barak and Candace Kelly, the trio will discuss topics including Black love and representation in the media. Birthdays today, and entertainer Bono of the group YouTube is 64 years old today. Sid Vicious, the late Sid Vicious of the Sex Pistols, would have been 68. Actress Meg Foster is 76 years old today. Singer Donovan is 78. Also 78 years old, singer Dave Mason. And the people who are no longer with us, the following people: R&B singer Larry Williams of the old doo-wop groups back in the old days. He would have been 89 today. Radio announcer and TV Gary Owens would have been 90 years old today. Disc jockey Scott Muni would have been 94. Actress Nancy Walker would have been 102. And Fred Astaire would have been 124 years old. So that's what's happening in the entertainment field. Everybody's there. So happy birthday to all of those people who are there and no longer with us. We wish you all a happy birthday. And maybe you're celebrating a birthday too. We would like to know about that. Of course, if you're celebrating one right now, let us know. Of course, we could talk about it right here on the show. But those of you who may be celebrating a birthday, that's one that's coming up in the near future, and you want us to announce it here, feel free to get in contact with us. It's always a pleasure to hear from you. And I have two pieces of information that you can use to contact us. I have an email address and a telephone number as well. So I'm going to give you the email address first. The email address is Frank Allan Prod. Allan spelled A-L-L-A-N. That's a very important detail because you could spell Allan about 100 different ways, so you can make it up yourself. But the right word is A-L-L-A-N. And Prod is P-R-O-D, that's short for productions. That's Frank Allan Prod at AOL.com. That's Frank Allan Prod at AOL.com. Now, if you desire the call, you can do that too. And that number is 690-715, that's 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. That's 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. Now, you can call anytime you like, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, also emailing as well at any time you like. We will pick up on it and we will acknowledge you. And if you want to get in touch with us for any reason at all, it may be to announce your birthday, or maybe even things like our show. You want to talk about our show and you want to know more about it, or you want to have ideas that you want to bring on to us that we can possibly use for the show. We listen to that. We can't promise, but we do listen. Maybe you want to critique the show, which of course that's always welcome because we always learn from you and learn what you like and what you don't like. We can do that, or any other thing. And even if you just want to say hello, just say, hey, I saw this show. I just want to say hello, and that's it. Because I'm a shy person and I do not care to go on the show, but that's okay too. If you want to do that, we look forward to hearing from you. You're not wasting our time when you communicate with us for any reason at all. So, ladies and gentlemen, please keep in mind that you can do that 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days out of the year, for as long as you live or for as long as this show goes on, right? That's the information. And keep that information embedded someplace where you can get access to it at any time you like. Particularly, it's always in your cell phone because you carry that wherever you go. Some people sleep with it, and you have full access to it right there. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, let me give you that email address. Again, the email address is frankallenprod@aol.com. That's frankallenprod@aol.com. The telephone number, once again, is 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. That's 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. If those of you who live in New York already know the things that are happening in here, we've had all kinds of demonstrations on the college campuses at Columbia University, at City College, Fordham University, and these demonstrations spread all throughout the country. We already know that they're kind of calming down a bit. I understand. I know here in New York at Columbia, they cleared everything out there. The lawn where they had all of these tents built up, they cleared all of that. And so you see all of that. And so New York is never a place that has a dull moment in its life. We also, as we know, keeping track on what's happening in the courtrooms in New York City. Of course, you know, the Donald Trump courtroom, as you know, that's already jam-packed with a lot of people, the jury and all. So it's about the hush money trial. All right. The porn star, we already know she had testified yesterday. I don't know if she's going to be up there today. Stormy Daniels is who I'm referring to. I don't know if she's going to be there today. I'm not sure. Anyway, I do know for a fact that it's taking place right now. Right now it's taking place. And people, ordinary people, try to take time to go there to be a spectator, which of course you're allowed to do in any court. You're allowed to be a public spectator, and you're going in. So a lot of people have the same idea. They want to do that. Me, it doesn't faze me at all, but that's taking place right now. And so we don't know how long this trial is going to go, but we're keeping on top of it. And you don't need me to stay on top of it. You already have all of the news bureaus taking care of all of that. All you have to do is just check with them. We talked about Mother's Day at the top of the show. I just want to make a little reprise on Mother's Day. And I always urge you guys who have your mothers with you once again is to take good care of them, take them out or wherever they want to go or whatever they want to do. And it would be a great thing if you take them for wherever you want to go. I want to say hello to Aretha Jones out there in North Carolina. I want to say hello to her. She just joined us. Thank you so much for being with us. And happy Mother's Day, by the way. Mary, Aretha, happy Mother's Day to you both. And so for the rest of you who are celebrating your moms, take them out. Now, my mom is no longer with me at this point. As a matter of fact, neither one of my parents are with me today. But my mom left me a great legacy. I'll never forget her. That's the woman that made sure that I was well educated, put me through school, you know, from kindergarten to regular elementary school to junior high school. She made sure I was in the best schools that she could find, high school, college, and was fed very well. And the thing that I'm proud of is that even though she's not with me anymore, and we had good times together, I was with her during the time that she passed away. All of that, I took very good care of my mom. I'm not bragging about it because it's a fact. And so I sleep very well at night knowing I took care of her. So that's what I want you to do. While your mom is alive, take very good care of her. You don't know when she's going to leave us. We're all going to leave here. But if that time ever comes to you, and I hope it's a long time before that happens, you could make sure that you treat her very well, because you want to sleep well at night knowing that you took care of your mom and you made sure that she was well fed and well taken care of. That's what moms are all about. They did it for us. and we do it for them because you got to remember, they held you for 9 months. Now, I will never know. I don't know, and will never know what it's like to hold a baby for 9 months, except for in my arms. But they did, and I can only imagine, you know, how stressful that was, how painful it could be. But I can only imagine. And I'll just say, hey, you know something? I'll pretend that I know what it's like, and I go back and tell her, you know, you held me for 9 months, and now it's my turn to take care of you. That's what you do for your mom. And I hope you guys do have a great Mother's Day and do whatever you want. Because remember, Mother's Day this year, Mother's Day is Mother's Way. How about that? Okay, I have those movies, ladies and gentlemen. As you already know, we already are approaching the weekend. And for those of you who are getting off at 4 or 5 o'clock this afternoon, you can say, yes, I did it. I got through the week. I'm going home and I'm going to celebrate. And that's great. And if you're going to do whatever you're going to do on the weekends, one of the things that you want to do on the weekends, catch up on some old movies. Well, I'm going to help you out in that department. I think I'd like you to listen to this because each week I always go to Turner Classic Movies and take my picks of the week for your weekend. And I have 5 movies this weekend I think you're going to like. So let's get started right now. Here's one that goes back to 1955. James Dean never saw this movie after he made it. He died shortly after this movie was made, and he'd never seen it. It's called Rebel Without a Cause, 1955. James Dean, Natalie Wood, and Sal Mineo. And of course, that's on Turner Classic Movies. That's coming up. That's Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And check it out. That's a decent hour to watch these movies. American Graffiti from 1973. Richard Dreyfuss and Ron Howard. Turner Classic Movies are Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern. Get the popcorn out. You know, remember the old days of the 1950s. That's what this movie depicts. Okay. We have Pocket Full of Miracles. It's another color movie. Of course, we already said all of these movies that I just mentioned, they're all in color. And this one goes back to 1961, Pocket Full of Miracles. That's starring Glenn Ford, Betty Davis, and Hope Lang. That's on Turner Classic Movies. You can check it out on Sunday at 1:15 p.m. Eastern, and you'll be back from church at that time. Even if you don't get a chance to see it at all, you could always DVR all of these movies. Mother's Day is coming along. Forget about it. DVR them and watch them all later. And then we have Mildred Pierce from 1945, Joan Crawford, Jack Carson, and Ann Blythe. And that's on Turner Classic Movie. That's Sunday at 3:45 p.m. And you can DVR them after Mother's Day and watch them then. And here's one of my all-time favorites from 1959. This is not the original, but a remake, but I was brought up on the remake, Imitation of Life. It's starring Lana Turner, John Gavin, and Sandra Dee. That's on Turner Classic Movies, and that's also Sunday at 5:45 p.m. And again, you can DVR all of these great movies and watch them later at your very own convenience. Take care of mom first. Now, also what I want you to do is go to Turner Classic Movies and go through the program guide, because there may be other movies that I didn't mention that you could get a chance to watch as well. If not in real time, DVR them as well. And of course, you get a chance to like these movies. Also, while you're there, go on demand, because there are a lot of free movies that you get a chance to watch, and you'll like movies that may jog your memory, movies that you haven't seen in years. They are chock full of movies from A to Z on there. And also on demand, you have pay-per-view movies, movies that are in the theaters right now, movies that were just recently in the theater, they're right there. The movies that are in the theater now, of course, obviously you have to pay more for them, but you can watch them in the comforts of your own home. Also, they have a lot of great sporting events and documentaries and kids shows and all kinds of things at your disposal right there. All right, and that's right there if you have cable too. So let's get started and tell you more about this. Rebel Without a Cause, James Dean, Natalie Wood, Sal Mineo. That's Turner Classic Movies, Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern. American Graffiti, Richard Dreyfuss and Ron Howard. That's Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern. Pocket Full of Miracles with Glenn Ford, Betty Davis, and Hope Lang. Turner Classic Movies, Sunday at 1:15 p.m. Mildred Pierce, Joan Crawford, Jack Carson, Ann Blythe. That's Turner Classic Movies Sunday at 3:45 p.m. and Imitation of Life, Lana Turner, John Gavin, and Sandra Dee. It's Turner Classic Movies at 5:45 p.m. Eastern, right there. And it's all right there for you. That's going to wrap it up for me for today. I've had a good time. I hope you did too. I'll meet you back here Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern for Talk Back Live. Brian Camp will be with me with the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. We look forward to seeing you then. Other than that, I will be back here next Friday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern for more of the Coffee Hour. Brian Camp, of course, will be here and he will bring you the latest developments in today's world of sports. In the meantime, have yourself a great day, a great weekend, and by all means, have a great Mother's Day. Be very, very kind to your mom because she's hard and going to get. Have a great weekend, everybody, and we'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
You've been watching The Coffee Hour with your host Frank Allen. The producer has been Al Dale. Technical assistant Dave Taylor. Research by Sandy Pierce. And I'm your announcer Donna Stanky. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time on The Coffee Hour.